Hello and welcome to another Royally Rich Lifestyle Show with me, Ian Pelham Turner.
And me, Helena Chard.
Well, let's roll the titles and let's get on with the show. Well, Helena's got some great royal news stories again today, and we'll start off, I think, Helena, with Prince William. What has Prince William been up to?
So I'm going to begin with, it's quite exciting, Ian. So we have a documentary that's airing, I think, this evening. And so looking forward to that. And that's We Can End Homelessness. And it's covering Prince William's first year of his new campaign. Well, it's not new campaign because it's been obviously he's been doing it for 1 year already, and there's another 4 years, and it's to eradicate homelessness. Also an interesting one, has Prince William handed Prince Harry an olive branch as well. So this is great, and I think it's going to be really good fun. Airs tonight and also tomorrow evening on ITV1, and I think really it's following on Princess Diana's legacy. And as we said, he wants to eradicate homelessness. He wants to make it rare, brief, and unrepeated. And I think the lovely thing about this is we'll hear how he speaks to his children on the school run. He talks about homelessness, just like his mother did, to them. And he's obviously trying to talk to them about tackling the issue. And he was saying how when he speaks to, I think it's George and Charlotte, the oldest ones, actually, they were stunned into silence. And he was saying, you're small enough to understand and be curious. And, it's made such a big impact in his life. And I think it's probably going to be passed down to his children. So we're looking forward to that. But reason why I've said, has he passed an olive branch to Prince Harry is because in this, he talks about how amazing his mother was, how he took them to she took them to the passage when they were younger. I think they were very, very young, and that's a homeless charity in Westminster. How she took them to Centre Point as well, which is obviously a charity. And Prince Harry's included in that, and he actually does mention his name. He hasn't done that for years now. I personally am not sure whether this is an olive branch. I think it's part and parcel of the dialect because they, obviously they were together, weren't they? And this happened Absolutely. When they were younger. And they're both in the photographs. Yeah. I mean, for me, and obviously for you, it's lovely to see the photographs of them as well with their mother. It's an interesting one.
Okay, I thought when I first read this first part of the script, I thought there was going to be some emphasis on perhaps Harry being homeless. We've been talking a lot about how they may be moving from America to Portugal at the same time. But obviously we've got friends who work on Homeward, which is the name of the charity that William has been working on at the moment as well. And I know he's very, very passionate about this whole thing, and that they're hoping to set up, I think, 5 Homeward centres around England, I think, at the moment, over the next year or so, and trying to raise several £1 million in order to do that.
They are, absolutely. I mean, there are 6, I think, places that have been targeted. I think the great thing is I think Prince William is perfect for this. I know obviously politically he can't get too involved, but again, just like his father, he wants to leave a legacy and wants to do his best. And obviously they both have this little black book with so many different people that can help and put their hands in their pockets. So I just think it's great, and I love the passion. I think it's just so important. So look forward to watching that. As we know, it's a 5-year scheme. This is just the first year. So I think it's a great thing. We absolutely need it. And just to say, there's something like 350,000 people in Britain that lack a permanent home. So this is a really really major topic. So good for Prince William. Hurrah.
Absolutely. So Charles.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously that he's been doing some major travel recently, which I have enjoyed watching, as I'm sure everyone
There's his
has.
holiday snap here as well on the screen, so it's
Isn't
quite good.
it? Isn't that a good? That's a great picture, isn't it? I think that's the iconic
What's the
shot.
betting that's going to be the Christmas card this year?
Could well be. It looks incredibly. Look how tanned and well they look. I mean, good for him. I just think he looks amazing. The exciting thing about this is that obviously he's been to Samoa, and oh, I'd love to go to Samoa. The Samoan people seem absolutely wonderful. They gave Charles and Camilla such a warm welcome, and he's said how it's been an absolute major tonic for him. He's come back feeling incredibly invigorated and full of energy. And I think the idea now is that he's made a decision. I mean, obviously Charles is 75, isn't he? Obviously, and also going through cancer treatment, that he is going to still do future royal tours, health permitting, should I say. So that's something. So next year there's 2 tours which I think are going to be arranged. They're not too sure where yet. Which is great news because everyone's talking about. I mean, only yesterday I was filming with NBC. I know you have as well, Ian, and they were talking about, what's happening to Charles? Is he okay? And it's a big topic. So to hear that he is well enough, he realises actually that long haul travel gives him a boost. As we know, he loves people just as much as he is invigorated by meeting people. He's given that boost also to the people of Samoa and, in fact, Australia, believe it or not. We had this, how's it going to go? But I think things have gone incredibly well. So his royal physicians, who possibly were going to hinder plans, so he said, I think in his final speech, he said that he really, really wants to visit again, and he wants to visit all the Commonwealth realms, but he's been held back because of his physicians. But now things are going to be good. What do you think?
I think it's wonderful, to see this. As I say, I think anything right now that is positive about the royal family, that Charles can be seen to be reinvigorating himself as well at the same time, I think is always very, very good for the royal family to be seen across the world. And it reminds the royal family of their existence, I should say, in the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth is a league of about 60 nations nowadays that could create prosperity for Britain, and in return we could create prosperity for those countries as well. So I think it's a very good opportunity indeed, and we look forward to it. But perhaps there was one caveat, which is our next story. It wasn't everybody's choice in Australia. Do tell.
Yes, there's something that people were talking to me about. They were asking, how did I feel the tour went in Australia? And I think people have thought it would be quite negative and there'd be too many boos and no one would turn up. But in fact, on the whole, it was quite the opposite. And I think there are reasons for that. So again, I think people were pleasantly surprised with turnout and how happy people were. Obviously, there is an MP called Lydia Thorpe, and she stormed into Parliament. And people have been asking, did she put a dampener to the tour? Has it made it sort of a negative situation? Lydia Thorpe she's well known in Australia. She is a self-confessed publicist. So she's always shouting. I was about to say shouting her gob off. I don't think that's quite PC, but anyway. And in this situation, I personally feel, we know, Ian, that the royal family, in fact, like things to go slightly wrong. They don't always like things to be smooth. It gives them a little chuckle. But I also feel that deep down, King Charles also is quite empathic. He does feel for lots of people. And she came racing in. This was to do with shouting and spouting about Aboriginal rights. In fact, she was swearing quite badly, and I don't think there's any need for that. What I can say is that both King Charles, Queen Camilla, they knew of her. They knew that she was going to be in attendance, so I'm sure it wasn't such a surprise. I really don't think so. I just the only thing when doing that, and it just shows from a PR point of view, is she had so much airtime. It was quite incredible. But they also said that last year she didn't support this focus. So she's done it this year. It's all about getting land back, etc. But so the customer, no, I think it was absolutely fine. It just adds to everything. I think there was a real outpouring of love. And I also do think the Republican movement don't know who they would actually replace King Charles with.
Yeah, I think the reality is there were moments when, and especially in Samoa as well, where obviously some of the Commonwealth nations were asking for reparation for all the bad things that happened during slavery periods that apparently the royal family in the past supported and actually gained funding from at the same time. And I know Charles was on his best behaviour to talk slightly about it, but not to talk about any reparation or funding for the future. So it put him in a slightly difficult light as well. There are quite a few countries that feel that, and obviously in Australia, there is a large Aboriginal movement that really does feel that their land was taken away from them. And so I suppose we have to listen to all of this as well and find a way forward that actually brings us together rather than having people shouting at him.
No, absolutely. I think King Charles actually would be the first to say, I mean, things were highlighted a couple of years ago when he attended Chobham, but this was actually for his mother at the time. So he sort of intimated a sorry in a way for everything. But I feel, obviously he's head of state, so he's not going to march in politically, but it's trying to use the right language. It's to listen, to communicate. And I feel that there could be an energy exchange sometimes. I mean, obviously, when you start talking about reparations and money, we're talking about trillions and zillions and billions of money. Where would it stop? But I do certainly feel that the time has come where certain things will be addressed, but in a way that's fair and communicative. One thing I would say is I don't think King Charles is shy coming forward in that sense when it's to do with something like this. So let's see what happens.
Absolutely. But there's wedding bells by the sound of it. Tell all.
There are wedding bells in general, I'd say. So I would say it's something that, especially when I was younger, doesn't everyone love a royal fairy tale? Everyone would love one of these royal marriages, weddings, and all beautiful. But interesting because Forbes, it's something that's been listed that the royal family and obviously their independent team that runs Balmoral have filed plans with the local government to open a 300 wedding venue on the grounds of Balmoral Castle. So this would be sort of in a very posh barn. And as we know, the late Queen Elizabeth's favourite place was Balmoral. King Charles, Queen Camilla, they normally stay in Birkhall in their private house. So a lot of the time now, the wonderful Balmoral, that's beautiful, there's not too much going on. So obviously, I would say it's a good thing to bring more of the public into the royal spaces in general. And the public can see a little bit of the sort of royal mystique. And the building is actually known as the Queen's Building, 500 acres of estate, obviously Queen Victoria and Albert as well. So it's got a huge amount of history. And just the whole thing about events bringing a huge amount of money, and tourism has huge benefits. I think it's a win-win situation. I would say as well, it's not just going to be for weddings. It's going to be dinners, meetings, events. But I think a fabulous business move, and obviously brings the royals again a little bit more into the modern world. So I think great news. Absolutely. I'd love it, wouldn't you? If I was going to get married, and I may do, I'd love to get married there.
Right. That's not a proposal, is it?
To you, no.
Thank you.
But it'd be
So
lovely.
I think the reality is yes. Why not? Because the upkeep of all these places is very much in the public purse anyway. So creating a commercial arm to Balmoral is or something. I know he's very proud of Balmoral anyway. And if I remember, it serves me correctly, that they're doing these quite expensive but quite luxurious afternoon teas as well, aren't they?
They are doing those. And in fact, also you can actually see a couple of the rooms and have I think a 3-course menu cooked by the chef as well at Balmoral. So there are some wonderful things now that you can buy into if you've got the money. And I think it's exciting. I love that little bit of history. And goodness me, we're so lucky here, I think, in Great Britain to have years and years of history. So yeah, I think it's a great one.
And finally, King Charles's equerry. What is the sad news?
So the sad news here is so King Charles Equerry, this is Colonel Johnny Thompson. He is incredibly good looking, I have to say, and he's often dubbed Major Eye Candy. That's what they call him, rather than Major Johnny Thompson. And he is getting married. So following on, now whether he'll be getting married at Balmoral in this new establishment, who knows? But he has announced that he's getting married to his high society girlfriend. There's going to be lots of people that are very sad that obviously had been following him. He's the equerry, which is, I suppose, in normal words, is Charles and Camilla's aide, PA, personal assistants. No, it's great news. It's really great news. And we've seen him for years now, and we used to see him also with the late Queen Elizabeth. He was actually forced to move to a sort of less public-facing role earlier in the year, just because he didn't like the attention that he received. People, always chasing him and whooping him and wanting pictures with him. And so he still remains the equerry to the King and Queen. He'll just be serving a sort of in a more executive, less public-facing role. But good luck to him, I say.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the royal news. That's great. And so we're now going to take a short break, and we're going to bring on 2 rather exclusive guests. Stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So now we've got our 2 very, very special guests today. We've got Busha and Riga. Our Albanian friends from ALB UK TV as well have come to join us just to talk about what is going on in this world at the moment. But first of all, with Helena as well at the same time, let's see, what do they think about the royal family? What's your impressions of the royal family?
I think I'm gonna leave your young guest, because she, Riga, who is a student, was born in Britain. I think I would like to hear myself as well. What do you think about royal family?
Well, I think the royal family is a key part of our British culture. I mean, it does get tourists here.
Do you think young people of your age group really feel that we need to have a royal family still?
No, I don't think they do. I think it's more costly in the sense that all of the tax is basically going to the royal family, and we do receive some sort of gratification in the sense that we have tourists coming here that come for the royal family, but in terms of my generation, I don't really think we need them.
And what about your generation, young lady? How do Albanians think about the royal family?
I would say that we like to see it. We like to see, because there is, talking about Albanians, we have a royal family as well.
I do, and so I've introduced King Lech as well. Yeah.
Right, so we associate with that. I mean, there is no comparison with the way, the royal family in Britain activates and they live and they have the lifestyle and the responsibilities for British people. But personally, I can talk personally, I like royal family. but I think that they are more open nowadays, and you can see the real structure they have, and you can see real them. So
Absolutely.
we sort of associate with the problems with the family, culture, and everything.
Absolutely. Helena, we agree with that. What's your question, Helena?
My question, oh my goodness. So, I mean, obviously, you know, King Charles is head of state, and when he goes abroad to Commonwealth, various countries, he puts Britain on the global map with regards to creating business. Obviously, that's seen as a complete plus, I can imagine. So I can see myself.
Okay, we're not hearing you too well, Helena, but I think the main part of the question was, you know, the Commonwealth today. You know. Riga, do you feel nowadays? Do you think that Britain still embraces countries from across the world, or do you think that we've become too really constricted within our own country and you know, because if you look at a lot of other countries, America, for example, if it goes the way of Trump, will become a lot more isolated as well at the same time. How do young people think?
Well, I think Britain does embrace other cultures. I mean, especially here in London, I think we sort of thrive in diversity. And yeah, I think compared to other countries, I think we are patriotic, but then we also embrace other cultures.
Bush, what?
My opinion would be, thinking, since Brexit, I think we have been isolated.
Absolutely.
And if you travel around the world, they kind of go, we are known as, oh, you've gone out of Europe. So it's just like they pinpoint at you whatever the decision or whatever your behavior it does. It does penalize most of businesses, but still, if the ones that we live here, as Rika said, you feel so free. You have a freedom of speech, you have diversity, and you are embraced for the work you do.
And Riga, what would help you today? What is, because obviously, you know, you've come today to sort of see us at work, and I say that with, what would help you today to achieve what you want to achieve in life?
I mean, I think just like changing your mindset and your view on life, and I think sort of just understanding what it is that you really want and how you are going to achieve that, whether that be through learning from other people. I mean, just being here, I've like learnt a lot from the way that you guys do TV hosts and the way other people host, and I think you have a really sort of like home and charismatic atmosphere compared to like other places. So I think that just being able to like learn and sort of refine my own skills, I think that will help me achieve my goals.
What's your dream?
My dream is to become a singer.
Okay, so what type of songs do you like to do? Do you write your own material?
Yeah. So I do pop that's got R&B and jazz influences, so like Amy Winehouse.
Okay, very good.
Yes. Yeah, because I feel like that's where, I think the main thing with music, I think it's authenticity. I mean, as long as you do something you love and something that you truly, truly value, then there's no going wrong.
And she was the most amazing jazz singer as well, Amy Winehouse, wasn't she? And Busha, what's your musical tastes?
Everything. I like everything. Wherever I am, I just like to listen to the mix. Starting from opera, jazz, rap, R&B, anything. I love music in general.
I was very lucky. I've been a jazz fanatic all my life. So I've worked with people like Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Sinatra I worked with. And, you know, so I worked with some of the all-time greats, you know, at the same time. And I think, you know, jazz for me is still, I still love, in some ways, I wished I could have lived in my parents' era in the 30s and the 40s, that not go through a war. but that type of music, I think it, Hammerstein, types of composers as well. Really, I think, and their lyrics and their music are just wonderful as well. So, where do you see music going?
Well, I think nowadays there are so many different genres of music, and I think music is just a universal language. I think it connects people in the way that words will never do. I think music is also a type of medicine. I think it solves people's issues, and yeah, I think there's no knowing what music will do, but I think it's never ending.
And do you think AI is going to change that? What you're going to?
I don't think that AI will ever be able to substitute music. I mean, the way we make music is with our own experiences, and I don't think AI will ever be able to replace that.
Maybe the text of the music we'll do it differently.
Yeah, maybe, but I think your text is from what you've experienced, and I think that it adds more value.
Well,
I love music. It makes me happy.
Absolutely.
But sometimes when it's too loud, it's just, I think.
my failing is that some days, I turn my laptop on or my iPad, and I then click onto TikTok, and that's it. I'm lost for about 3 hours. Suddenly 3 hours disappears before my, and I love a lot of the competitions, like, Britain's Got Talent and The Voice and all these types of things. I'm an avid viewer of anything like it. And I think the thing with The Voice, if you're aware of that sort of show, is in reality is I want everyone to win. I want the chairs to turn around for everybody because they so deserve it.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it is to actually break into anything and then to be successful. I mean, Helena and I have worked extremely well. Helena's back.
Okay.
Great. Have you got one last question, Helena?
All the time. I was just saying, I was just thinking to myself that you've got a similar tone in your voice to Dua Lipa. That's when I was hearing you talk. I haven't heard you saying, but I mean, I could just something similar there that I can see. I bet you're a great singer. I wish that you could just stand up and sing for us.
Well, we will do something, so we won't ask you right now.
Thank you.
Sorry. You could have seen Riga just go around the back of the sofa then for a second. Hiding. Hiding. But anyway. Well, Helena, wasn't that wonderful to actually watch some of the videos as well today, and our very special guests, our great friends at the same time, and obviously always with your royal news. Have you got passing words?
Passing words. Oh my goodness. What can I say? From a royal stance as well, I think it's something that we can take into with everyone to sort of recognise success and excellence. I think we should continue doing that. And obviously speaking to that lovely young lady with a beautiful voice, I'm sure. It's great to discover new people and voices and things, but to celebrate success and excellence, so important.
Excellent. Okay, well, again, everybody, thank you so much. Can I first of all thank Helena Castrati from ALB UK Television for allowing us the studio time and going out on ALB UK TV. Can I thank Dr. Jacqueline for all her work on USA Global TV and radio, putting it out. And our normal friend, Philip Sykes, who is our great sponsor and great friend as well, who unfortunately couldn't be with us this week. So, from me, Ian Pelham Turner.
And from me, Helena Chard.
Have a great week, and we'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye for now.